Welcome to Daytona for the kickoff of Speed Weeks. On RBC Sports, at least, Cup teams have been here for a few days now since the Clash. Teams have had the opportunity to work on their cars over the past couple of days in preparation for these events. Last night, pole qualifying front row as they stand right now is Ranger on the pole position and God King in a provisional second place. Of course, if these two drivers wreck out of their dual race, then they will forfeit their provisional pole positions for the Ranger 500 tomorrow. Of course, that's nothing what these guys want. However, that is what they could get. Tonight's two dual races, 60 laps apiece. 9 part-timers per each race. And if you know what that's going to do, that's going to mean that there's desperation in the back of the field, or if the part-timers get to the front of the field, that's going to result in a lot of desperation for them, because if they don't make the top 3 part-timers in each duel, they will not qualify for the Great Rangerian race. As green flag is out, we're underway at Daytona. Really good jump by Logano right there. It is really just, as you already see, the two packs forming up here. You got the leader, the first pack, 2 cars, the 99 and 53 drafting together, and then you have the second pack. This is pretty common in these dual events, at least for the RRA Cup drivers. As you can already see, Red Panda's working his way up there with Rasky. A lot of separation from the other part-timers in that second pack, as you can see on that ticker right there. Could be coming down next time. Could be coming down on lap 38. I do not really know. You can't really predict these things. They sort of come down when they come down. JetBlue down this lap. So as we head into the blimp balloon camera, get a zoom in on the pack. Or the car cycling this track. There goes little JetBlue. Who will follow him? Paul Menard, Dino, Carl Edwards, and Gracie all on pit road as well. 5 cars, decently sized drafting pack. You really don't want anything too much larger, nor do you want anything that much smaller. JetBlue is going to completely beat them off at pit road. It's going to be close between Menard and Dino, and it's not going to be that close between Gracie and the others. Logano, negative fuel that time. Big pit pack that time, around, actually that is around 8 cars on pit road. Bullseye leading the charge. As they come off of pit road, it's going to be Bullseye versus JetBlue. JetBlue is going to get out in front of Bullseye. It's very all dependent on how you can get on and off of pit road here. As let's see who stays out. Egg is going to stretch it, along with Ricky Bobby. And those two are the only two that haven't pit. Egg is coming down this time by Ricky Bobby, also coming down this time by, remember, Ricky Bobby is a lap down. So the only car on the lead lap that is still out here running is Egg. And Egg is definitely trying to stretch this thing as far as he can go. He's got a huge advantage. If a caution comes out right now, he'll be secured. As that was a big slip up by the 79. That might cost him his chances at ever winning this thing. I mean, he had the least amount of fuel that he had to put into his car, but that slip up on pit exit is going to cost him everything. There go the leaders. And he's going to slot out just in front of the 29 of Twizzler. So around, as Logano has been caught by Bowling Sham, the only question is, can Sham pull off the pass? This could be the first pass for the lead in an official race this week. As in the Truck Series race earlier today, we saw Ranger lead every lap en route to victory. There goes Sham onto the apron. I don't think we're going to see anybody catch Joey Logano. Sham is able to make it, limp it through on the apron, and rejoin the racing surface on the back straightaway just in front of Ryan Preece, so he should be around 14th or so. And yes, Egg was around P10, P12 in that area. Now running P11. And now it's Logano and Little JetBlue up front. Logano is gone. Instead of ticking off on the low groove, but it doesn't matter. Caution is out for the 27 of Paul Menard. Not the run that he was hoping to have. And Menard, he's out of his duel race, and that'll bring out the first caution of the day. Green flag back in the air at Daytona. Can anybody dethrone the 22? Red on the inside, JetBlue on the outside. It's going to be side by side into turn number 1. Logano's going to have the edge heading down the back straightaway, side by side for second. Red Panda and Little JetBlue. I mean, that caution switched up everything. Now everybody's back together. As Red Panda's going to drop right to the 22. Ryan Preece is on the apron, backing out of the pack. Red has led his first lap at Daytona tonight, and I believe in his entire career in the RRA Cup Series. Logano now back down to third after leading the opening 45 laps. Dino leads as a part-timer in the 500 duels. Can he hold off Little JetBlue? Passing for the lead is extremely difficult here unless the leader makes a mistake. And while I didn't catch that on camera, I believe the 71 might have made a mistake, as Dino's holding off Little JetBlue, as now JetBlue tries to go high. Dino Nuggies will block. Casey Kane slotted himself into third in front of the 99, and the 99 is blocking that 88 with ferocious effort. As they're going to go side by side. Never mind. Yeah, they are still side by side. Never mind. They are singling, filing out all over the place. Chase Elliott is pulling away from Juan Pablo Montoya. Both in positions and in physical distancing. As his pack is beginning to single file out, so the element of the draft is still very much here. Coming to 3 laps to go in the World Center of Racing for 125. Number 1. Dino Nuggies leading Little JetBlue and the entire lead draft. As they're squirming all over the place, attempting to make time. The 5 looking to the inside of the 71. Down the back straightaway, not going to happen. Now to the outside. Not going to happen. He's going to slot in. The 99 is trying to make up a move. Out of turn 4. Dino Nuggies will take the win in duel number 1. That late race caution changed everything, because I don't think Dino Nuggies was even in the top 10 before that yellow. And Ranger did not wreck out, to my knowledge. Right? Yes, Ranger is still running, and he will be on pole for the 7th Ranger 500. Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway for the second duel at Daytona. We had a little bit of a delay right there Rain in the area and thunder, so we had a delay for about 30 minutes. So the sun is completely set now, and we're met with a black backdrop over this beautiful super speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida, ready to go back green for another 60-lapper duel. Green flag is out, and we're back underway. At Daytona this time, all 29 cars have officially started this race. And you see God King leading them. God King is your outside pole sitter. If he wrecks, the entirety of Speed Weeks is essentially, well, if he wrecks the front row on the outside pole gets completely changed. So God King's one goal right now is to keep that thing in one piece through that pit stop and through whatever mayhem may arise. Do a one caution the entire way. That came on lap. That caution came on lap number 46. And so if these guys keep it green to lap 46 again, we could see a very interesting green flag run, through pit stops. The goal here is to get to pit stops one way or another, and then to make it through pit stops under green. This could be what we see for the entire 200 laps of the Ranger 500. Has that go green? Jimmie Johnson on the apron. That could be a strategy. And Jimmie Johnson spins. Jimmie Johnson brings out the first caution of the day. On lap 8 of 60, Jimmie Johnson out of this race. Disastrous. Was running P2 last time by, and is now out of the race because of a slight, I don't know what that was. Maybe it was a bad push. We don't get the luxury of a replay with these things, so maybe it was a bad push. He got on the apron, and then that was just it. He looped it out of turn 2 into the infield grass for Jimmie Johnson, and that's his. He'll start from the rear. Luckily, he is not an open entry, so he does not have to worry about the pressures of advancing. But that's still not something that you want to see from a veteran of stock car racing. Green flag back in the air. Clint Boyer leads them to green. F-150 on the outside. We see Hamlin get a slow restart on that inside lane as the lag starts to take over this pack. Through turn 2, down the back straightaway, we pass by these backstretch stands. Now side by side for the race lead. Entering turn number 3. F-150 versus Clint Boyer as they head out of turn number 4. Very good action up here in the front. Very, very close on that restart. Already more chaotic than duel number 1 was in the opening couple of laps, too. We haven't even... Well, now we've gone 1/6 of the way, but when that caution came out, we'd only gone just over a tenth of the way through the race. And there was a caution. So that really sets the tone for this second duel and how chaotic it could or could not be, as Austin Dillon and Binks are both on the apron. Binks is an open entry into this race, as we see an awesome battle back here. Between Bubba Wallace, SVG, Bella, and Reddick for that transfer spot. Bring Christopher Bell into the mix pretty soon. However, it is quite likely that we do get one around pit stops, as that is when the most motion is going on the racetrack, going on and off of pit road, and that's actually when the cars are on the apron and closest to the grass. And if anybody makes a wrong turn or a wrong mistake gets loose, that can bring out a caution. Wow. Ryan Blaney leading at Daytona. Brad Keselowski still challenging him. This is the type of battle that this new package creates. It may not be that close overall, but the battles themselves are quite intense here. You got to use the draft, and then you might want to slingshot him or continue drafting, as here comes Keselowski to the inside of Blaney. Blaney just got loose. Keselowski's going to capitalize on that and take the race lead, and that is exactly the type of move that you would expect from a Cup Series veteran at this racetrack. But after lap 35, so that leaves about a 3 to 4 lap window for these drivers, as here comes the 9 car of Ethan to the inside of Ryan Blaney. That's a local Floridian. He lives down here. He knows this track like the back of his hand, and now he's using that experience to lead the field in duel number 2. As here comes Blaney back up the inside. The competitive edge on Penske is unmatched at these sort of racetracks. And, SVG has apparently hit the apron or ducked out of that lead pack. And that is going to really hurt him if this keeps on green. There's always the big possibility of a wreck at Daytona. This place is famous for its big ones, especially in the stock car racing category. Ethan is definitely still trying to be competitive with Ryan Blaney, still harmlessly trading the lead back and forth, around 10% of their fuel load left. F-150 is obviously going to be on a different fuel strat. A lot of this field is going to be pitting around the same time, I believe. It might be much closer than we saw in the previous duel, as let's get a bit of a jump right there. I believe Keselowski got loose on entry, and he's going to be pitting with Truex. Alright, so that is 2 lead lap cars, I believe. Yes, 2 lead lap contenders. Keselowski definitely, maybe buffed it a little bit too hard going into pit road, and he stuttered a little bit, and that little bit of stutter is going to be the difference between him taking the lead and him falling into obscurity. As a couple more cars come to pit road, so far 8, 9, 10, make that 10 cars to pit road, this time led by Ryan Blaney. Blaney, really good entry. A lot of these guys have had a really good entry tonight, but the 2 guys who haven't are Brad Keselowski and, of course, Egg himself. Both of them got a little bit scuffed on that pit entry. Nothing to be too concerned about. This is all just mainly pit practice right now. A lot of these lap cars are going to stay out, but as you see, Hunter, Clint Boyer, and another lap car are going to stay out. That is Jeff Gordon staying out on the racetrack. We got 2 lead lap guys and 3 lap down cars. Of course, F-150 pushing the fuel window is expected, as if a caution comes out right now, he's on the lead lap. Same thing with Bella. Both of them will be on the lead lap if a caution were to come out right now, as I believe all of them are going to come to pit road. No, Jeff Gordon is going to stay out another lap. He might be several laps down. No, just 1. He's on the lead lap now, though. As we go out of turn number 4, down the front straightaway into the tri-oval, white flag from the World Center of Racing. God King leads by a steady advantage over the 9 of unnormal human beings, or Ethan as I've been calling him. As we work our way down the back straightaway past the Le Mans chicane into turn 3. God King will win duel number 2 in Daytona, followed by Ethan, Blaney, and Bubba Wallace made his way all the way up there, and Christopher Bell P5. SVG will advance to the Ranger 500 tomorrow night on RBC. Really good showing by these drivers, kept it very clean. It was a very hard race. We saw a bunch of lead changes, very interesting. And that sets a very good precedent heading into the Ranger 500 for tomorrow night. And we will catch you then at the World Center of Racing, RBC Sports. We'll see you tomorrow.